I don't know how to even begin this video, but I've hit the point where I need to say it. I'm not okay, and haven't been since late February when Brendan, my fiance that I got engaged to back in August at Lake Maligne in Jasper, threw me to the side and cheated on me with someone he went to describe to me as the ginger-bearded bear man of his dreams. This would be the first of many escapades that he detailed that he got down to in San Diego, where that was supposed to be my home. Brendan, I put my entire faith and entire being into, and I had been friends with him for nearly 15 years and in a relationship for almost 5, tossed me away like I was used toilet paper that he just wiped his with. I recall walking out of my car, falling over into the snow of a farmer's field in the middle of the night and screaming at the top of my lungs, and it was -40. I don't make this video because I want money, I make it because hope has died in me. I want a new life, a new future. I can't continue like this any longer. I need a new future, and I know that I need help to get there. I go to sleep and I dream the same dreams for future in San Diego that I sacrificed more than I had to give for, and wake up to the same nightmare each morning. People may think that I'm embellishing when I talk about the sacrifices I made. Rest assured, unfortunately, those sacrifices I don't embellish at all. The things that I was asked to do and the things that I was asked to give up are horrific, and if you want that, I'm gonna have a timestamp to that, and yeah, I'm gonna talk about that at the end of the video. Reason for this video is that I do need your help, and I do need to lean on my community. I need a new life, and I don't know how to do it. My mother just went in for surgery to remove C. I'm just gonna call it C because the full word upsets people, as I was told, and that just honestly, the surgery indicated just how broken things are to me. We still have no confirmation if it has or hasn't spread. Obviously, I'm praying that it hasn't spread. We're going to learn that on the 30th, and yes, Brendan has used this situation to manipulate me, to retain control over me. He used it as an excuse to contact me, and not the point of the video, but until recently, he did tell me that he doesn't care what happens to her. Whether he yelled that at me out of rage or frustration, doesn't matter, but that really, yeah. I'm powerless in every sense of the word. I'm a software engineer with roughly 6 years of professional experience in the work world and 2 degrees, and I just cannot see a future for me left in Canada. I need to get down to the USA, and I need a new life. I really honestly just need a new life at this point, but I don't have any connections in real life, or like we're even talking friendships. I don't have any of that. I actually don't. I know no one, and no one knows me. I frankly don't even know who I am anymore. For the first time in my entire life, I went to a furry convention, and to keep it real short, I've never felt so lonely, unwanted, and useless in my life, and that's in spite of me being genuinely excited, going there to make any connection, going up and being super enthusiastic and positive. Like, I really know how excited I was, and I am not like glossing over things. Like, I was so hyped, and damn, no one was more excited to go than me. I was hopeful, which foolish given who I am to be hopeful. Frankly, I really wanted any reason to stick around. A friend would have been all I wanted. Instead, and I remember it so well because it was so recent, I guess, but I had people literally look over to the side of my head or above my head. I tried to talk about things to people, and people quite literally were hostile or abrupt, and like, I talk on YouTube, I talk on Discord all the time. Like, I'm pretty confident in my ability to hold a conversation and be personable and kind and nice. And I even went on my birthday, and I went from like dawn until like 3 in the morning, and I was so demoralized that day that I honestly didn't even go that last day. Like, that could be a video in and of itself, but there's the gist of it. But the point is, I don't even fit there, and it's not for lack of trying, and that's the main thing. Like, if I was not trying, then I totally get it. Like, you need to first of all try, but it was like a try and a fail, and that's just been the theme of so many different things. And that's not even getting into the frankly hostile and extremely shallow, both literally and metaphorically, dating pool where I'm at. Where I live is probably one of the worst places to be gay, and I've never felt so undesirable in my life. Like, actually, scratch that. February, where my fiance told me that there is nothing attractive about me and went to cheat on me because I'm not enough of a bear, killed me. I remember on calls him telling me that I'm not fat enough for him, that I'm not tall enough, that my beard isn't big enough, that he wants a real man, a big, tall, fat bear man, and that I was way too thin, not enough weight on me. Which, I mean, makes me feel weird because my shoulder span, even right now at my thinnest, weakest, smallest, is like wide as a door frame, even now at my smallest. But damn, hearing that all gouged me. And yeah, I'm telling you straight up, he was like, you are not fat enough, and that there is nothing attractive about me. Since late February, where he threw me away, I had honestly tried to repair the relationship. I gave every concession, I gave every possible dignity or self-respect or pride away to fix things, to get back that future, because I really did have a lot of feelings for him. More sacrifice, more and more. There was so much sacrifice, which I'm gonna get into some of the things that I did at the end of the video, but at this point, after February, I really did give up everything. And when that failed, he continued to just describe how he'd go to parties and make out with Spencer so that he would make Chad, who was Spencer's boyfriend, jealous just to mess with them, and how he would do the deed with the ginger-bearded bear guy's roommate, who was a practicing clinical psychologist, and how he wore a pup hood and then made fun of him for calling him a good boy. And like, the details of these stories, I was told, messed me up. I stopped eating. Quite literally, I would go days without eating anything. And I just drink teas to keep me going, like, because I have somehow managed to continue to code, to keep my job and everything, and so I just take all the tea that I could and drink it. My body went hypothermic for what, there was just a lot. I lost nearly 40 pounds in the span of a few months and could see my rib cage over the next few months. When I went to the Final Fantasy XIV media tour May 21st in LA, Los Angeles, LA is relatively close to San Diego, and the Sunday before the media tour, Brendan came into my Discord server when I was there alone and love-bombed me. He told me that he wanted to see me when I was back in South California, and he ended up coming there and seeing me during the media tour. I ended up crying non-stop, and this is why my media tour coverage wasn't what I expected. It wasn't what I planned. My website that was supposed to come out with it, I wasn't able to even focus on coding. I was stricken with grief. He made me fall back in love with him. When I ended up flying back to Canada, he then unleashed his newest and most vile thing that he could on me. He said that he met a scientist bear from Anaheim, someone who owned his own house there in Anaheim, and Brandon bragged about it to me. I was gutted and confused. Did he not just drive all the way in to LA from San Diego, where he, like, I guess Anaheim would be somewhere between there, but he drove into LA, came into the Doubletree Hotel in LA, and he embraced me. He went to dinner with me and told me that this wasn't the end, and started like talking even more lovey and shit. That's the thing. Brendan is a scientist, and if you're not a scientist, you don't matter, I guess. Like, that's my interpretation. And so this scientist bear from Anaheim, he bragged and bragged and bragged about him to me until I couldn't cope. He then had a mutual friend of ours send a picture of him with Brendan on the beach, shirtless together, on my Twitter account, like in my Twitter DMs. And this is someone who blocked me in game, who has literally blocked me as soon as he like sent this image, and it was just, and it's clearly an intention to hurt me further. Like, this isn't like, hope you're doing well. This is literally, I'm gonna drop a picture of you, myself next to your shirtless fiance on the beach in San Diego. It's like the biggest way to flip me off, and this fucked me up. I don't even care how there's no other way to say it. Seeing this fucked me up. It's like, okay, so you brought in a mutual friend of ours, Ryu, who I used to raid with, who I used to give a shit about, and you're gonna literally show me that you guys are fucking in San Diego or whatever the hell this is meant to indicate to me. Like, I really do hope that me showing this, and this is just one of many awful things that was sent and done to me, I hope that this indicates to you the kind of tone and what has been going on. So, but people ask, why wasn't the site done? Why was my media tour coverage so weak? You now have your answer. Brendan wanted control over me, and he got it. And there are so many much, much worse stories, in my opinion, than that, but this video isn't going to detail all of it. The point of this video is I want a new future. I want to move somewhere where I can belong, somewhere that I matter, somewhere that I can be loved and held and feel hope again, somewhere where I can actually make enough money given my experience and education. Like, I don't think that I am a horrible person with no skill, no talent. I want to move somewhere where I can have the ability to afford a home, and I want hope again, and that is why I'm making this stupid video. I have literally years and years of videos on this channel, and you can probably parse together who I am. I have kept it real 100% of the time. I need help getting to a safe, good, healthy point, and I don't know what to do anymore, but I know I can't continue as I am now. I can't continue to get these kinds of messages, and where I am being drawn back into being controlled again. I can't do it. I can't do it where he won't even return thousands of dollars of my property and then send me sentimental images of stuff that I really don't want to go into on a YouTube video about the sentimentality of it, where he won't even send me back my property. All these months later, he doesn't even send me back my property, and he has had relations with other men where I'm meant to be sleeping in the sheets that I paid for, in the pillows that I paid. Shit. Now I'll talk about some of those sacrifices that I was asked to make that completely compromise my ethics, morals, and sanity. To briefly name a few, include the fact that he told me to stay in Canada in my parents' house and to work my software eng job and to save every dollar that I can for the down payment for a home in San Diego, but with a double effect that if his pharma company that he works for as a scientist failed, that he would be able to use me to come get back home safe in Canada and have a safe base of operations, and he'd come back here. Another is that he put me back in the closet. He hid me from the world and treated me like I was a repulsive, dirty, disgusting secret, and he never even introduced me to his family. He'd tell me to duck down in the car when driving into the apartment back here in Canada. I wasn't allowed to even go to his PhD graduation, his major reconstructive knee surgery he had down in San Diego. I wasn't allowed to be there to like even support or anything, any Christmas parties, or even be on his HR documentation. Like that hurt me so bad, that HR documentation thing. Shit, like he works for a small startup that moved from Alberta to San Diego, and he's a scientist there, and respectfully, if he was knocked out or hurt, I would have no visitation rights, let alone even be informed, because who would inform me? No one even knows that I fucking exist. And that burden weighed heavily on my mind each passing day. As someone who has been completely out since I was 19, to say this was not humiliating, dehumanizing, and brutal each day, it made me feel worthless every day. It was so bad, but I did it because he said it would be to keep him safe and protect him. A statement that he made over and over and over again. A leash is what I view that statement as. A leash to keep me in line. But in terms of worthless and dehumanizing, he even allowed his friends to rip me down and treat me like dirt, kicking me from events and things, them telling me that I couldn't go and do things, them being frankly hostile towards me, and he always told me to be the bigger person, and that they would have to come down into my home, which obviously I was working the job and saving up money for, and sleep in my beds, use my toilets, eat my food, and all I asked for at the end was an apology from them, just them to say sorry for what they did, and it would be fine for them to come and stay at my home. I'll let you guess if I got that apology. This doesn't even get into the horrific things that he's told me that make me question my morals and my ethics to even know. Like telling me if I'm ever laid off, I'll bury them. I have a hard drive in my house and in the cloud that I can prove all of that, so I can prove the malfeasance, the fraud. I can put them in prison for fraud too. The guilt. Oh my god. The guilt I have been afflicted with, knowing this garbage has wounded me and caused me so much stress that I have gotten sick. Let alone the horrible, horrible statements that he said about his co-workers. Like literally calling his co-workers disgusting brown pig. What the fuck? Or saying things like, it's so refreshing not being around the fucking nasty Indians. I hate them disgusting people. This was not the man that I was getting engaged to. I just want a new future. I just want a new future. I just want to be done with all of this. I am done. I can't take it. I just want to be loved. I just want to work a job and be happy. And I want to be safe. And I don't know what else to do other than scream at the top of my lungs, help, help, help. Fuck. Why? Like, what is your end goal with that?
I've spoken to a lawyer and I'm setting up a lawsuit.
Wait, you're setting up a lawsuit for the company
Yeah.
that you're literally getting a green card from?
Yeah, and as soon as I get the green card done, I'm gonna just sue them and get $100 grand.
Brendan? Really?
Yeah.